Hi, my name is Paget. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so that we can connect on YouTube. This channel is all about spirituality, manifestation, and energy. How do your past lives hold you back? So we're going to get into a little bit of a background around like what is a past life? And also, why do we have certain past life connections? What is actually going on at a deeper energetic level? So we exist within an incredibly complicated matrix that obviously we can't even really perceive in this three-dimensional reality. So there is no really such thing as a past life. It's just an parallel life. It's an alternate life. Basically, your alternate lives, in my words, are just reverberating through space and are reverberating just a little bit closer to your coordinate of your current life than, let's say, other lives. So think of reality as this huge matrix where everything is happening all at once, all the different realms, the different dimensions, the different time periods. It is all happening all at once, and it is part of and creates this giant matrix that we live in. And actually, this is also why when you are born and where you are born and who you're born to has such a huge impact on your life, because it really impacts that stamp of where you get placed in the matrix, if that makes sense. Now, based on that, you are also connected simultaneously to all of these different alternate lives or parallel lives or past lives in the matrix through this tangled web where time doesn't really exist. And those lives that are the closest to your coordinate in the matrix are going to be what you would see as your past lives. It's almost like on an energetic level that your alternate lives or your past lives are kind of like the cousins of your current life because you share certain fundamental energies with them. Now, some of these energies could be amazing. Like if you happen to have certain gifts, like let's say you're just a naturally really talented singer. I guarantee you that somewhere in your past life, and also by the way, in your lineage, because it's all connected, right? Somewhere in a past life or alternate life, you are actually a phenomenal singer. Or if you're someone who's really good with people, you could have been someone who was a community leader in a past life. Or if you're someone who is able to make money very, very naturally, very easily, you could have been someone who was really wealthy in a past life. So it's already so you actually have, let's say, a shortcut in your energetic field to being able to create abundance. Now, some of them, however, are not so great and they impact your reality in ways that are not always desirable. But again, these are so unconscious that they go beyond even your subconscious mind. So even if you did a lot of subconscious reprogramming, if you don't actually get to the root of this energy that's being connected to these alternate lives in your energetic field at a deeper level, they're still going to be running. They're still going to be there. And they can really stop you from getting to those higher levels of success or being able to create those higher experiences in life. It could even impact really, really insignificant fears like the fear of spiders or the fear of rats. Or if you just have some weird like tics, these weird idiosyncrasies that you literally cannot explain, it's very, very likely that you actually got it through one of these alternate lives. But the way that I see past lives really impacting people the most is when it comes to being able to create success. Because in this current reality that we live in, and it's going to become more and more so this way, success is kind of like an equivalent to how much you're ready to claim your power, how much you're ready to step into your deservingness, how much you're ready to be seen in your power and in your deservingness. So anything that would create this separation from your power and you being able to claim your power would be what I would call an energetic block from a past life. And let me give you an example. Okay, so back in the day, quote unquote, right? Because there is really no time, but back in the day, the consciousness was a lot denser, where there was like a hierarchy in society, right? And you were punished for stepping out of line. You were punished for being too expressive. You were punished for having too much of an individual thought. But if you were deemed to be at the top, you were able to have more freedom and be able to claim more of your power. However, if you were deemed to be at the bottom of the hierarchy, you had less freedom. In fact, you were punished severely if you wanted your freedom or you tried tried to claim your power at a higher level than was, let's say, granted to you. So it was actually a threat to your life, to be seen in your power, to step out of line where you are supposed to fit into society. So do you see how if your current energies are related to an alternate life, like the one that I just mentioned, where you were deemed to be at the bottom of society, do you see how that would really impact you in this life? Because you would share those energy patterns, or let's say the fear of stepping out of line, the fear of claiming your power at the next level at a really, really deep, visceral level in your body. There would actually be this visceral fear of being too powerful, of being too seen, of being too outspoken, of being too confident. You did not want to stand out. But the problem is now in today's time, you kind of need to stand out in order to be successful. You kind of have to be okay with being seen in your power, in your glory, in your authentic expression, in your talent. And this is actually where all of us are headed as a collective. We're going to be asked to really step even more so into our authenticity, into our power, into claiming our deservingness. And if you stop yourself from fully claiming your power, you are going to end up being on the losing end of this whole transition. Because consciousness, like I said, is headed toward a purification of truth, a purification of who you are. And the truth of you is that you are deserving. You are powerful. You are meant to be seen in it. You are meant to claim higher abundance. You deserve it. That is where your higher self wants you to go. So if you say no to that path, you're really saying no to your higher destiny. So if you're holding on to these heavy energies of your past lives or alternate lives that are keeping you small, that are keeping you stuck, not only is it going to be harder for you to create success, but you're actually going to feel this greater and greater disconnect from within. And you're seeing this fight between the old and the new even now, right? Because the new is about truth. The new is about transparency. The new is about individual power. The old is about institutions. The old is about playing status quo. The old is about playing small. So I want you to take a moment to even identify within yourself what kind of fears come up in this lifetime that are preventing you from being able to claim your higher or your next level reality or your dream reality. Is it the victimhood? Is it the low self-worth? Is it the fear? Is it the scarcity? What is it? So I'll give you an example. In one of my clients, I saw that in a past life, she was a slave, or she was treated like a slave, where she was constantly being pushed down over and over and over again. And obviously in this lifetime, that is not happening to her, right? But energetically, what was happening is even if someone else was not doing it to her, this energy would have her do it to herself. So she would actually create this loop of self-abuse, of self-punishment, put herself in situations where it felt like she was being punished. And it kept unconsciously keeping her small. And as we released these energies at this deeper level, she feels like a totally different person, but now she's actually able to step into posting, right? Showing up, being seen, coming into her abilities, coming into her power. Or another one of my clients who was definitely a witch in a past life and was definitely persecuted for being a witch in a past life. She's really talented, really into spirituality, really has a lot of gifts herself, but she never, ever felt comfortable sharing that publicly. And of course, that fear doesn't really make sense, right? Because I show up and I share about spirituality all the time. And I know some people think I'm a weirdo. I know a lot of people don't believe it or they're against it even, but I'm still showing up and I don't really have the same level of fear that she had. But when she actually released these really deep energies of persecution, right? Because it literally will feel like life and death, even though at a physical level, it doesn't look like that. In a visceral way, it literally feels as though you are dying, because that is what had happened. That is what you quote experienced or were experiencing in an alternate life. But when she released these energies, she was actually able to show up to the public in her gifts, in her spiritual weirdness. And this is how crazy your past lives can impact your current reality. But when you release the energy tied to these traumas in these alternate lives, you can just create more freedom in terms of who you can be, who you give yourself permission to be in this lifetime. And honestly, being yourself and being free to be yourself is the most incredible feeling you will ever experience. It's better than making $1 million. It's better than even falling in love. Well, maybe it's not better than falling in love, but it is the most invigorating, euphoric experience that you could ever have. The freedom of being fully yourself. And this is one of the things that we're going to be diving into in the Divine Feminine Method. It's going to be this moment, this collective moment of the group of energetic liberation, a moment of breakthrough from the old oppressive energies, a moment of waking up to your true sovereignty, the reason why you are here at this specific moment in time. So link below if you'd like to join us in this sacred process. So take a moment to reflect on your own fears in this lifetime and whether they're really logical, right? They might be common because a lot of us are tied to past lives where we were suppressed, right? So it's actually very common. But is it logical? Does it really make sense that one person saying something negative to you online, or one person commenting something, or one person thinking that you're an a-hole or something like that? Like, is it really that logical that would hold you back from stepping into your power? It is not logical, but in your mind's eye, it might feel logical because of these really oppressive energies. So if you want to even start to use your own intuition, can you maybe tie it to a past life? And of course, you know that this is an energy pattern, by the way, because while you experience a lot of fear around this thing, someone else may not. Now, I'm getting a lot of questions about, well, how do you release these energies? So I will break it down very quickly. Now, the full response to this is incredibly layered, and it is a process. But here's a really good place to start. Number one is you have to elevate your frequency to higher levels of consciousness. And I don't mean listening to, the sound frequencies. I mean, those are nice, they'll make you relaxed, but I mean like the frequency that makes up who you are. And you can do this by going into really deep states of meditation. This is why all of my programs have this component to it, because it is just so incredibly critical. Now, two is that you got to identify the energies that, let's say, you are releasing, or the patterns that you're releasing. And what's important about this is understanding that it's a pattern. And the reason for this is because, let's say you're ready to release a pattern and the universe gives you an opportunity to release it, but you don't realize that it's a pattern and you continue to use your free will to subscribe to the same way of being, then you just miss an opportunity to release that pattern. And then number three is usually doing the opposite of what you would normally do in a situation. I hope this video was helpful and educational for you. Let me know in the comments what some of the past lives you're identifying in yourself, and I hope to see you later. Take care of yourselves.